Red dust hammers the hull of Habitat 4. The main life support grid fails, the primary power cycles down, and the communication array goes completely dead. With the habitat locked down and isolated millions of miles from Earth, William is completely cut off. To keep his mind from fracturing in the sudden isolation, he accesses the mainframe's historical archives. He begins searching for the ultimate baseline of human endurance, Earth's most lethal environments. His focus lands on the Amazon rainforest, a biome defined by constant, visible biological competition. This animated diagram maps an impossible contrast. On one side, the Amazon spans 5.5 million square kilometers, packed with over 3 million species of wildlife. On the other, William's entire world is a single, sterile metal tube. The jungle is an ocean of overwhelming biological density. Looking closely at this dual-axis graph comparing size and lethality, the dangers are incredibly varied. At the top of the scale, you have apex predators like the jaguar, an animal that hunts in water and crushes bone with a single bite. Down at the bottom is the poison dart frog, a creature small enough to sit on your fingertip, but carrying enough toxin on its skin to kill 10 people. These threats, while extreme, are logical. Every attack in the Amazon is a matter of biology and physics, governed by the laws of nature. The enemy here is entirely tangible. To understand how humans endure this kind of physical war, William studies the historical record of Lanza Flight 508. On Christmas Eve of 1971, the plane broke apart at 10,000 feet, dropping 17-year-old Juliane Kupke straight into the deep Amazon canopy. Injured and alone, she relied on a single rule: find water and follow it downstream. A stream leads to a river, and a river leads to people. She walked for 10 days straight, forcing one foot in front of the other until she reached a logging camp. Survival in this environment demands a mechanical focus, isolating the one variable that leads to life and following it relentlessly. For William, this means breaking an impossible situation down into the next individual task: reroute to power. Take the next step. When the threat is physical, survival is a matter of relentless motion. You fight the jungle by refusing to stop moving. Eventually, the alarms inside Habitat 4 stop, the backup systems stabilize, and that is when a different kind of pressure sets in: the crushing, absolute silence of space, beginning to eat away at his mind. The Congo rainforest serves as the historical mirror for this psychological state, a biome defined by its impenetrable, suffocating environment. The Congo remains a lethal physical environment, holding mountain gorillas capable of snapping a human spine and enormous Nile crocodiles that rule the waterways. But this topographical cross-section reveals the real danger. The canopy blocks satellite imaging, masking the ground completely. The Congo River carves trenches 220 meters deep, creating a geographic void that cuts off all modern contact. While the Amazon actively attacks, the Congo simply swallows you. It acts as an absolute sensory deprivation chamber, where human presence is erased without a trace. Staring across millions of miles of empty space, William faces the maddening silence of total isolation, the terrifying prospect of being entirely erased from the record. The historical record of the Congo is filled with these unexplained voids. In 1960, an entire battalion of 300 soldiers vanished over the course of a single night. Their final radio transmission mentioned something surrounding their position. The next morning, the camp was completely empty, with no signs of blood or a struggle. In 2003, a UN helicopter landed safely in a clearing with its engines running and all equipment in place, but the entire crew was gone. The sheer logistics of an animal dragging off 10 armed people without leaving a trace defy basic logic. When an environment provides zero data, the human brain begins to populate the silence with its own nightmares. Local tribes in the unexplored zones have long described the Mokele Membe, a massive, unclassified creature. We invent monsters to explain the void. That is the psychological horror of extreme isolation. You aren't fighting an animal or a broken oxygen valve. You are fighting the overwhelming weight of the unknown. This conceptual model summarizes the two extremes of human survival: On the left, the Amazon represents the chaos of a visible biological war. On the right, the Congo represents the blank spots on the map, the paralyzing fear of missing data. William looks at his dead communication console. His habitat is perfectly intact, but nobody is listening. He is sitting in his own personal Congo, surrounded by a silence that is actively trying to erase him. Surrendering to the dread of the unknown leads to certain failure. To survive this isolation, he must manufacture his own tangible reality. He has to find a fight he can actually see. William turns away from the static of the comms array and picks up a water ration. He shrinks his universe down to a single tangible task: keeping one fragile plant alive in the red dirt. Whether facing Earth's deadliest jungles or the absolute void of isolation, the greatest survival tool is the refusal to let the unknown extinguish human hope.